Here's a photo of Jim Crank with a car that he had worked on for some time. Jim was just nuts on Doble steam cars, and so that's what he did. And we're indebted to him for going to the work of putting this book together. Here's a picture of a Doble. They look very similar to just any 1920s large luxury car. The car competed with Duesenbergs and the very expensive cars out of Europe. One of the main things that Doble had was a very high performance vehicle. Then here is a chassis before it got the body put on. It has a condenser up here which looks like a radiator. It has the flame is in here, the monotube boiler is in here. The engine is right laying back here inside the frames. And so that is it. There's a water pump, there are water pumps, there are fans, there are all kinds of other things going on. The beauty of the Doble is you could sit in the car, you could turn a key and flip a switch, the fire would start, and in 45 seconds you would have pressure and you'd be able to drive down the road. The story of the Doble cars is told in here. We have drawings, we have blueprint drawings which explain the engine. We have some of the other work, similar steam vehicles going on at about the same time. When Abner was done working on cars out in California, he went to New Zealand and worked on steam buses, and then he went to England and worked on steam trucks. And toward the very end, in the early 1950s, he worked on one of the ultimately best, most efficient, most powerful steam engine ever, called the Ultimax, that was being developed at that time by McCulloch from the McCulloch chainsaw people out in Los Angeles. It came very, very close to working quite well, but then McCulloch had other things going on. They were building drone engines for the Air Force, did not have room to do further steam development, and that was the end of Abner Doble's career in steam. But he was there are, of course, better improvements that can be done now. We're 100 and some years after Abner was doing his work. And but this is just an example of a very good, slightly overpriced steam car. What could be done and what was done, this is probably the only occasion for that story being told. One of the interesting complexities of the monotube steam generator, technically it's called a steam generator instead of a boiler, because a boiler is a great big cast iron tank that has flame on the outside of it, and a boiler has 100 gallons of water in it. It tends to blow up and kill people. Whereas a steam generator, which is made out of these small tubes, has at most a quart of water in it. There's nothing to blow up and there's nothing to kill people. And if the tube ruptures, it just makes a lot of noise, blows steam all over, but there's no shrapnel and it doesn't kill people.